Day 5, Sally's house. I'm heading out to the back garden to top up on the tan. Sure, at least when it's all over, we'll only be looking gorgeous. That's really it for the day.
We're gonna get a takeaway tonight to make us feel better. We're gonna get Chinese. I was gonna curry, half and half, so that's something to look forward to.
Today, Bradker announced that the country's going into lockdown. We have to keep within 2 kilometres of our homes. My mum rang. She asked me if I wanted to come home. I told her I was already in my home. She said that she didn't appreciate that, but I've decided to stay here.
I'm just back from my walk with Kylo and my sister Phoebe. There aren't many places to go around our house, so we mainly just walk up and down the road a few times. Phoebe brought up the numbers again today, and I kind of just snapped at her because I just wanted her to shut up. But I guess there isn't really much else for us to talk about.
Today is day 28 of quarantine. Latest new confirmed cases is 253. That's 13 more than yesterday and more than 70 more than this time last week. Dad says I need to stop fixating on the news. I told him it's the only thing that's on unless you want to just bite the bullet and buy Disney Plus. He said I should try reading to take my mind off things. We'll get back into piano. He's good at reassuring me. Calming me down when I get worked up. I can't help but look at the figures and reports on how other countries are doing, though.
Day 27 of it all now. You know, I think I'm actually coping pretty well. Like, yes, work is a bit of a pain, the you know what, but I think I'm doing fine.
I'm kind of enjoying lockdown so far. It's nice to take a break and do what I want. I have a lot more time to focus on my college work. I've taken up reading again, actually. We're all getting on really well in the house too. I miss Anne though. She'd make the bed a bit warmer.
Sammy came back in today. You know, we only let him out sparingly. Sorry, Sam. Not today, bud. Not with everything going on. When it gets better out, then we'll see. Yeah? Okay, Daddy. Good boy. I just missed the outside. Hey. Hey. What did we say? What did we say? When it gets better out? Yeah. When it gets better out. Go on, go play out the back. Okay, Daddy. Good boy.
Today's been a good day. I didn't feel as anxious going to bed last night. And Mum and I made banana bread this morning again. I've lost count of how many times we've done that.
People wake up and eat and go on their phones and eat and watch TV and eat and go to bed and they go to sleep and they wake up and eat and go on their phones and eat and watch TV and eat and they go to bed and they go to sleep and they wake up and they do it all over again.
After we wired the final house in the estate, as I was packing away my drill, he said, "I tell you, Maia, you do well for a foreigner from a provision centre." Stood there for a moment, just looking at me, blissfully unaware of anything else better he could have said, and then got into his van. 9 years we're living in silence. 9. But to Padge, the provision centres where I'm from. Not silence, not South Ossetia, not Georgia. The centre. Two days back to work after lockdown, and the crack of seeing the lads on site is overshadowed by Padge saying something again.
I finally sewed up the holes in my jacket pocket, and I think that I did a very good job. I bought some flowers on my weekly shop in Tesco today. I like arranging flowers. It's calming.
In all honesty, I'm sick of it now. I'm really starting to lose my patience. Mam keeps trying to tell me that he has a plan for us all. Well, can he? This is to you, God. Keep it up now. Come on. Sort it out.
I think it's normal to feel upset. I heard Mum crying in her room today. And when I asked her what was wrong, she said that everything just sort of hit her at once. I think she's mainly worried about Nan in the nursing home. So I went over and sat beside her on the bed. And then we both started crying for a bit. Latest new confirmed cases is 283.
I unfollowed this woman on Instagram today because she kept posting photos of her flat stomach and about her meal plans and her workout sessions and before and after photos of women who've gone from a size 12 down to a size 8. As if there's anything wrong with being a size 12. And I've started looking at myself sideways in the mirror more often. So I just unfollowed you. Because I don't need to be seeing any more of that bullshit.
3:08 in the morning, and I haven't slept. I still have 352 words to cut out of my company law essay. $309.
I passed the Irish Powell today, on my way back from another site. It's been a while since I've been out that end. Strange after what Padge said yesterday. But then again, it's not infrequent that he comes out with something ignorant. I stopped there, looking at it from across the road, just thinking about who's inside. I remember the cramped rooms, the homework on the floor, and the provided meals. There's people still experiencing that, and the mold, the curfew, the cold looks, the small allowance, the strangers, and the showers and the microwaves in constant state of waiting to be repaired. Obviously, a bed was welcome after weeks of fleeing, but 11 months of that? How is it now with COVID? How does it still exist? What makes a person want to profit off of people who have just fled a nightmare? To see another human, see the fear of plane bombings and gunfire in their eyes, and to be okay with dehumanizing them. And what is it in a TD that allows it to happen to another human for so long? Like a girl in the school that watches the foreigner in her class being called dirty or different meaning bad. And the TD and the girl share the same thing, an acceptance that that's the way things are, instead of a belief that this is the way things should not be.
Mum asked about you today. Does it haunt you still, she said to me. No, I replied. Only slightly plaguing me, but you know yourself. After Daddy died, I suppose she does. It's just a different loss, though. Isn't it?
I saw on Karina's story today that she had Mary over for a socially distanced coffee outside, which looked lovely. She never said it to me to go over. And I know I live a good bit away from her, but I wouldn't mind. But Cleona knew it was my last exam yesterday. I guess it was just difficult seeing them meeting up.
I don't know what happened. I just lost it. I'm really not proud of it. I think I was just a little bit overwhelmed. I was in Tesco, right? And the tension in the supermarkets is palpable. I don't know exactly at what point during the pandemic that started, but you walk in and you can feel it, as if there's these threads of thin wire attached to every single point in the building, taut to the last inch, where they might snap at the slightest unexpected movement. So I was already kind of nervous. But I got on with it and I did the shopping. And then I was standing in the queue and there was this person stood behind me with their basket, like behind me, easily within 2 feet. But it's funny how I instantly knew that they were there. And I couldn't really move forward, but I took one step to try and get at least a little bit of space. And then the person behind me takes another step forward. I'm thinking, you're having a laugh. So I turn around and I say, excuse me, but would you mind practicing social distance? And before I can finish, the person behind me fucking coughs right in front of me. And I shouted, not roared or anything, but my voice was raised, like angry, like, are you fucking serious? I just dropped my basket and I just walked out. I couldn't wait to just get home. That better have been just a fucking smoker's cough.
You better slow down. You're gonna hurt yourself. Slow down. You commit shit. You commit your life to the paper. You don't leave no time for fun. Words thrown through the air between you and me. I wish we learned to speak. You don't have to shout and walk out on me. Just be. You better slow down. You're gonna hurt yourself. Slow down.
You know, it's funny. I don't think I've had this much peace and quiet since school summer holidays. How many years ago? Hold on. I suppose the last great one was nearly 25 years ago. Sad, really, isn't it? I've waited all that time to feel peace.
I'm reading this book, Half of a Yellow Sun. It's about these couples in Nigeria during the Biafran War. It's pretty intense. There's a lot of visceral imagery. It's mostly about the couples, though. The war's just happening in the background. I just got to the part where Olana and Richard get married. It's only the second time that Olana and Kanene have seen each other. They're twins. It's strange how much time they spend apart in the book. They refuse to see each other in parts. I might start something else. It's not exactly like reading. Julie recommended flat share, so I might try that. I've started turning off my phone at 9 o'clock, so I just read my book instead. I'm enjoying getting back into reading.
Today has been a pretty good day off, I have to say. Michael rang me so early this morning to finish the last episode of The Mandalorian together on FaceTime. Mum and Dad had told him to let me sleep after my first week back to the apprenticeship, but I didn't mind. I'd gotten used to spending every day with him when I was at home for the lockdown, and it was nice to dip back into that. Quarantine wasn't easy, but Mikhail was the highlight. So he's 9 years old, and he's already way funnier than I am. I got the looks though.
I came downstairs this morning, still a bit upset about yesterday. I've been reading news articles for about an hour beforehand, all of them about COVID. Dad was standing there. I mean, Mum must have told him what happened. Anyway, he asked me to go into the living room. And as I walk into the room, there it is on the TV. The home screen of Disney Plus. Oh. He said he'd get the shopping today. We watched Rogue One together this evening, and Dad and I had to keep explaining to Mum that it's set before the original trilogy but after the prequels. She still didn't get it. I actually can't remember the last time the three of us just sat down and watched a film together. Before college, anyway.
It's our 2-year anniversary today. Anne's at work, so we're going to FaceTime after. She makes me happy and calm. I feel safe around her. She's always so positive about everything. It's hard not to be positive around her. And I'm usually quite cynical, most of the time. I miss hugging her and kissing her. Talking to her is the best part of my day.
I've been on my phone so much more these days than I usually would, and it's making me feel sad. I'm sad. Because it feels like there's so much ugly in the world and nothing I can do to beautify it. As stupid as that sounds. I feel useless.
Eight minutes. Over 8 minutes. What is it in a person that makes them want to take another person's life? Meanwhile, the 3 others helped hold him down or watched. Stood there as he struggled. Watched as he gasped. Watched. They just watched. Patch's comments seemed insignificant after I saw the video. A secondary school teacher once told me that it can all be like water off a duck's back if you let it be. But then they weren't insignificant. Over the course of the day, his words started to feel heavier. They didn't have the hate that the police officers needed. But they carried the seeds of the tree where it grows. That old tree that just won't die. The tree that roots distrust of another color, fear of a hijab, dislike for another language. Makes a person unable to see others as people, only as a set of descriptions. Makes a person do what they've been doing. And then the person is wondering, how is the tree still alive when it's being watered right in front of them?
I saw John watching the video last night. I didn't think much of it at the time. You know, I'd seen videos like it before. Just another black person killed by the police. I think I was in shock. I cried this morning. I just want to be with my family.
I think I've probably been racist. Or said or done something racially insensitive at some point in my life. Maybe I looked at someone in a prejudiced way. Not really realised it was because of the colour of their skin. I'm ashamed I may have done that. I'm really disappointed in myself. Thought I was better than that. I'm reading articles about it on Instagram though. You know, and I ordered that Layla Sad book too. So
The guy was calling out to his mother. The guy was pissing himself. His nose was bleeding. How is that man still a threat? How? He doesn't get off his neck until the paramedic stretcher hits the ground. Not when he sees them coming. He's already passed out, not making a sound. It was blatant murder.
I'm trying not to think about what's happening now. Or let Sammy know what's going on. It's not good for a young mind, no. And I tell Eliza, I say, there is no need to worry the child. There is no need for him to see the messes outside and to know the pains. Yes, but Jadyn, what about his friends? He has not and will not see his friends for a long time now. Well, we'll be his friends. We'll be his best friends. You big softy. Well, something needs to be soft when times are hard.
I only became fully aware of racism during lockdown, when I saw the violence and everything that was happening in America. The police brutality and the protests and the George Floyd video. I watched the video. I only became fully aware of these problems when they were in my face, on my screen, and I couldn't get away from them. I don't know why I wasn't more educated about it. I literally never thought about racism. I didn't think it still existed.
Almighty God, who never fail, you will never share your glory with anyone. You will never share your glory with anybody. Almighty God, who never fails. Almighty God, who never fails. You will never share your glory with anyone. You will never share your glory with anybody. Almighty God, who never fails. Almighty God, who never fails. You will never.
Mum is now taken to telling me that God is punishing the wicked. But, Mammy, I wouldn't think you're a wicked person at all. Why should God? And she says, even the great Lord above changes his mind about people sometimes. Yeah, but we don't all deserve this. No, Sally, we're not all deserving. There is a difference. I'm really failing to see that difference, Mammy.
One is for sorrow, two is for joy.
I've always thought I was a feminist. You know, I've always felt like a feminist. And I speak up for what I believe in at times. Just sometimes. Most of the time. I'm quietly being a feminist. To myself, I think these things. And I believe in equality, of course. I just don't go out and start a podcast or a protest or a rally, and I don't start petitions on Facebook, and I don't have a blog where I talk about what I think, because I don't think people need to hear what I think. Maybe that's the wrong way of looking at it. Just, there's already so many people out there giving opinions. What's my voice going to add to that? I don't know.
I caught them. Again. Outside the back garden, over the wall. Well, not actually in the garden, but they were definitely over the wall, you know. They were 100% there because I caught them. I caught them staring. Just a glimpse, but I caught them staring.
Anne FaceTimed me when she got home today. She'd been out for dinner with her family. They took her after she finished work. And when she called, she still had her name tag on from work. Why didn't she just take it off? I feel like most people would have taken it off, and she just kept it on. I was going to slag her off for it. I was going to, but I didn't. I think it just made me love her more. I don't know why.
I know it's so silly and so unimportant, but I really missed getting a decent coffee from a barista. I missed oat milk flat whites. Oat milk foams like nobody's business.
Sammy came back in today because it was his first time going out outside to see his friends. Go on, Sammy, be good. I will, Daddy. Come here and give me a kiss. I love you, son. I love you too, Daddy. Go on, get out of here. And he does. And I'm alone. And I hate to admit it, but I watched it again. But I could breathe. I was thankful I could breathe. And there was no hiding it. I felt so much shame. Because how could I, a proud and blessed black man, be hiding my need for breath? Thankful that my son is left to finally get out. But Sammy comes back in, and I wasn't quick enough. In my life, I have never seen my daddy cry. I'm just coming for my ball, Daddy. Daddy? He comes into the room and I can hear his footsteps. I know I'm found now and there's no hiding it. I know it. Why are you on the floor, Daddy? What's going on? What's the matter? And I turned to him.
suppose I started all this to, I don't know, pass the time. It's not as if I'm going to watch this back when all this is over. What a daft idea.
I've decided, I've suggested that we try and get the mass from Knock at least once a week. Yeah, just the once. Like we've been getting the local parish mass on the Zoom for a while. Yeah, we've been doing that for a while now. Yeah, to be sure, but still though, you have to wonder. Anyway, but Bertie had said that we should try something new. Something new. And I said, great. So what do you suggest? And he says, well, we could, try going up the town for a walk, maybe. Up the town on the streets. Aye, says he. Aye. Aye, me arse, says I. Out of the question, Bert. Do you know, that's something I've noticed. Call him Bertie, and he's as sweet as pie. I suppose it's a term kind of akin to endearment, yeah, like we call him Bertie and his little crinkle face folds in on itself. But call him Bert, it's as if the Lord God himself appeared before him to smite him where he stand. Out of the question, Bert. Dropped. But that's a good start, dear. I mean, you can't let him out. Sure, it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be safe. Sure, that's what it says on the radio. Stay indoors, out of harm's way. Because that's what was suggested for us. That's what was decided. Oh, still no word from the daughter. Poor mite. I'm sure she's having an awful time of it with the little fella. He got an awful dose of the COVID. And there still must be no change, or she would have said. Lord have mercy on him. Sean did text after. Himself and Evelyn and the two little ones, they're doing well. And they sent us some a TikTok tack thing the other day. Actually, I could get Bertie to play it on this for you. Oh, get out of them. So there's not a lot happening now, really. I've no news, really. No, and I still haven't won the lotto.
So scan one. Not much to say or can't say, Scan one. Oh, scan one. Right, I gotta go.
Right, well, you're just going to have to excuse the appearance today. Not that it matters or anything, Dear diary, it's now day something or whatever, and I've just completed my 3rd run of the day. That's all. That is it.
I saw the newspaper in Tesco today. The headline was that yesterday was the first day without a COVID-related death since March. Stared at that headline for a few moments. I can't tell if this is the beginning of the end of it or the end of the beginning of it. Maybe it's neither. It seems too fragile a thing to try and hold on to, no matter how much I want to get my hopes up. In that moment, I felt kind of lucky, like our family is lucky. I mean, we haven't lost anyone. And I've had Mum and Dad to be with during it. Not everyone has.
I used to be terrified of dying alone. But the way you died doesn't say anything about how you lived. You know, if I die alone, it doesn't mean that I've lived a lonely life. I think right now I'm just more afraid of living without love. And right now I'm living with so much love and joy in my life, so what's there to be afraid of?
It's not vicious, Darren. But it's definitely a persistent presence. Overbearing. And there's not a lot you can say to them. You can't acknowledge their known presence or just simply walk away. Either they feel like they're snooping, which they are, or they feel like they've angered us. They must be wondering where Eliza is. And how Sammy's keeping. You know, he's found me crying more times now than ever before. When is Mummy coming down, Daddy? I don't know. My son, I don't know. Will I go and see if she needs... Don't you go near that room, Sammy, please. Do not go near that room. Leave your mother to rest. I pray to God she rests. I dislike giving out to my son like that. He's a good boy. My best boy. God is heard, Daddy. God is heard.
Actually, that's not it. No. There was something. Something. Someone different. She ran past me. Obviously, the 2-meter thing was kept, but she ran past me and smiled. said hello. And I almost stopped and fell off the path. And she almost stopped and fell off the path. And we both... Stupid, really. Are you all right there? She called over to me. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just blurted out completely and totally arseways, as if I was saying, yeah, you purposely knocked me off the path. Watch what you're going. But she didn't. Maria didn't think that. I'm Maria. Sorry for startling you. Startling? Haven't heard that used for ages. Such a stupid thing to say. I haven't heard that used for ages. I want to say there's more. I desperately want to say there's more. But she sort of took off after that. Gave me a smile and started running again. I didn't even give her my name, you know. I should have stood up and said, "Hi, I'm Sally, by the way," and cocked my head and gave a cheeky smile. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Instead, here I am. And that's it. Oh, it's day 27 and still no response from Mum. That is it.
Well, we're back to the 5 kilometres again. The the presenters on the RTE made the announcement the other night after the big government meeting. So all the shops and the hairdressers closed again. Not that we were going out to them all that frequently. Oh dear. But Bertie was very quiet at breakfast. He went very quiet last night when we were sitting in the armchairs watching the 6-1 news. Like we've been staying in for the majority of this past, what is it now? January, 7 months. But maybe perhaps it's the reset of it all. You know, it's not square one. The road isn't going anywhere. It's just meandering. But then in the afternoon, Bertie brought me in some wildflowers out of the garden, like he does every Friday. He used to bring me flowers when we start going out with another first. Oh, very much to my mother's approval. And he's done it every Friday now since the country shut down. and he did it again today. Look, they always brighten up the kitchen table. They're lovely. I look forward to seeing Sean's girls now and little Felix. Yeah, bringing me in the wildflowers out of the garden. Felix, isn't that a lovely little name all the same? Yeah. Still no word from Mary, Asher. She's run off her feet and run down, I'd say. This dreadful COVID. Oh, but I look forward to seeing them. Seeing them running up the stones there to Granny and Grandad's door. I can't wait to hold them. Just to hold them. Yeah. I hope God doesn't call me now before this is all over. Meandering. And I suppose this is the safest place for the most vulnerable. It'll give everybody a chance at a normal Christmas. What's the guidance for the vulnerable? It's stay in while the rest of the country has a shot at Christmas cheer. And where do we go after? Well, hopefully there is somewhere where I can hold them again.